Since 1906, Eastern Kentucky University has attracted students for academic excellence, scenic beauty, and a rich insight into Kentucky culture. Along with Eastern's rich history comes the tales of the ghost who inhabit it. If you frequent campus, chances are you've spotted the Blue Lady. She's said to be the ghost of the King Johnson building, and her story is dismal, to say the least.
I was doing senior pictures for my cousin, and I thought a good place would be the kind of the lobby area of the King Johnson building. And just sitting there, and I can hear something like moving around in the background, and it was the elevator. And I thought, that was weird, and I thought someone would be coming out of it, but the door didn't open. Then 30 seconds later, sure enough, it does it again. And thought, okay, it's fine, it's over. And then it starts back again, so I thought, I've got to go do something. I go over there, and before I hit anything, the door opens, and it turns out there's a back door to the elevator, but both the doors are open, and it's pitch black in there, and a gust of wind comes through, and it was quite spooky.
Eastern legend tells of a young student actress preparing for a role of a tragic Greek who meets her fate by hanging. Encompassing herself in the role, the actress became a version of the character. One story states that the student refused to leave the Pearl Buchanan Theater where she was rehearsing. Her fellow actors, pleading for her to take a break, were unsuccessful in their attempt and eventually left her to herself. When she failed to appear at the upcoming performance, the actors went to investigate and found her hanging from the bell tower of the King Johnson building. Since her fate, unnatural phenomenon have been recorded within the building. Some have witnessed misty blue lights in the Pearl Buchanan Theater that make their way across the stage. Others have heard footsteps, seen curtains open and close with no one around them, heard vocalizing on stage when the theater was closed, and lights in the lighting booth when no one was there. Alongside the King Johnson building, the Sullivan Hall dormitory is said to have a visitor of its own. Rumor tells of a young nursing student who killed herself on the 4th floor of the building in the 1970s.
What I've heard about Sullivan Hall, and that is the oldest dormitory on our campus, there is a ghost there called Victoria. She was a nursing student or somebody like this. I think this was in probably the 1960s. And I had heard that she had some type of tragic death and just haunts the floors of Sullivan Hall.
I, in my undergraduate, lived in Sullivan, and my best friend Jenny was with me. Well, we walked down the stairwell. When I came back up, I noticed that on the banister for the staircase there was actually a necklace draped around the banister. Isn't this a little strange? Like, why would somebody just drape a necklace over the banister? And she was like, jokingly said, well, maybe it's the ghost.
Recent accounts with the ghost include shadows running throughout the room and disappearing.
In the dorm room itself, I woke up probably about 1 o'clock, roughly about, and I looked over at my closet, and my bed and my closet were adjacent, and it didn't really close, so I kind of looked into it. So I started to kind of close my eyes, and I opened them again, and I saw something kind of peer out, and I thought to myself, I'm just seeing things. It's dark, your eyes fool you. Well, I looked closer and it darted out of my closet and across the room and it disappeared into the darkness. So I woke up my roommate. She kind of freaked out, started crying a little bit and said, "No, just go back to sleep, don't talk to it." I said, "Okay."
The second one, actually, I was in my dorm room and I heard some weird noises. It was on a weekend, I think it was fall break, maybe when a lot of people were gone, the dorm was pretty empty. And I heard just some strange noises and I was pretty sure that I was one of maybe 2 people left on my floor. And I look out and nobody's moving around. So I was like, okay, this is strange. So I go back in my dorm room and I'm working on my computer. And about a minute later, my TV turned on randomly, my computer restarted, and my car, which was parked out in front of the dorm, the car alarm started going off all at the exact same time.
I was upstairs with my RA, and that's supposedly the haunted room, because that's where the girl hung herself. And as we were talking about it, it was just us 2 in the hallway, and there are 2 doors, one on each end, and the one closest to us opened on its own. We were kind of like, okay, maybe there's someone behind the door. So we went and we looked and there's no one there. So we walked back out and we were like, okay, that's not funny. Someone needs to stop. And then the door slammed on its own and then it creeped back open. So we ran back to our rooms and when we came back out, the door was completely open on its own and there was no one else there.
Eastern Kentucky University is home to academic excellence and culture galore. But don't let campus beautiful fool you. Behind every pretty facade is a dark story to be told, and Eastern has some of the best.